Anyway, here's the scene of the crime. Uh, so the guy walks in with his carburetor part, and I say, I, I need an IGES file or something like that. And so I didn't have it. And so I went ahead and drew it up. I took the carburetor parts. There was 2 or 3 different carburetor bases and a manifold and a gasket. So I said, okay, great. It's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. His daughter had died and he was fixing up this van. So I went ahead and did it. I went ahead and did it. I told him I have... but anyway, this is the let me show you. Now I did all this shit here. There was nothing. There was just shit laying all over the table, and they didn't know what they wanted. So I went ahead. I drew it up. I went over to the Bridgeport and analyzed holes, this, that, the other thing, to put things in the proper location. Okay. Then I drew them in. And okay, the first run was a mistake. And I told Bob, and I told him, I need to know what I'm doing and what is the part. Okay. But anyway, these 2 holes here, I drilled, I copied the part, I copied the correct part as 3/8/16. I copied the part as they told me to do. Okay, but now we have a situation where there's different manifolds, different engines, and shit like that. And so Bob says, well, we said this, that, the other thing. Okay, that is where you have to put your foot down. That's where, you, as a machinist, you have to put your foot down when you're designing the part itself. And now, so I drilled these, see, this and this, I drilled them through for 3/8/16, which is 5/16. Which is 5/16. Well, now there's the part, there it is, it's perfect. And then Bob comes over and analyzes the part. I tell him that if these studs have to go in here, then the part is scrap. That I did them, I duplicated the part as requested. Okay, well, that can't go in there. That this carburetor goes on here, it does that, it goes onto this manifold. Okay, so I remake the part. And I drill these for 5/16/18. Okay, so I remake the part. On the CNC. Okay, so now I'm done, and I go over to Bob. There's the part. I want you to okay this. Because there's the part. I don't have nothing to do with how the van runs. I just simply produce this fucking part. I don't care about how the van runs. And here is the stuff for the groove for the idle mixture air control. Okay, I did everything perfect. Okay, now I get done with a remake. I said, okay, great. I'll put these in here. 5/16/18, not 3/8, not 3/8. Okay, so I redo it. And I go, okay, this is such a clusterfuck. Bob, come on over here. I want you to okay this part. There it is. That's perfect. He sends pictures to the guy. Everything. Part is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, and I even asked him, Bob, I want you now, see this bore hole? I want you to confirm that is the bore size that you want, which is, let's see, it's 1.550. it's 1.450. Okay, so he said, okay, great. Here's the part. Now remember, because of this confusion, I want you to okay and check out this part that it's perfect. Okay, now that he sits over at the desk and analyzes the part, and I said, just analyze this, and he mentions he puts on his gasket, does this and that with the other various mountings, and I said, I don't want to hear nothing about it. I want you to look at that hole and analyze that it's perfect as was discussed and as was stated. Okay, now this wasn't no hot thing. No, not at all. No. Okay, so he sits there, and I go, here's your perfect part. It's remade. I remade it. And he sits there and analyzes it, put on the gasket, does the various housings and all kinds of shit. He says, absolutely fucking perfect. This is a masterpiece. Okay, now I'm just warming up. I'm just warming up. I'm just warming up. I get a call in the next morning, this same morning. Look at part 3. Look at part 3. That is why if you are the person designing the part and figuring out where in the hell shit is, it's a totally different ball of wax. This is part 2. This is part 2.